Good evening, Addison, and welcome to the combined meeting of the committees for Monday, March 16th, 2026. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Trustees Del Rosario.
Here.
Reyes.
Here.
Ruggieri.
Here.
Co-chair Kluzny.
Here.
Co-chair Nasty.
Here.
Item number 2 is consideration to approve the minutes of the March 2nd, 2026 combined meeting of the committees.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Any additions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Minutes are approved. Item number 3 is audience input regarding agenda items before the committee. We have none. Item number 4 is discussion of accounts payable. Earlier this evening, we reviewed the following directives. Directive 26-66 in the amount of $782,445.52. Directive 26-67 in the amount of $247,294.56. And Directive number 26-68 in the amount of $2,246,415.60. Is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from CDWG of Vernon Hills, Illinois, for the VMware licensing services procured through the Illinois Governmental Joint Purchasing Act. OMNIA Mesa contract number 2024056-01 and the total cost of $47,298.24. Funding and account number 620.9962-4105.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Mike.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is a software renewal. This software runs our server virtualization both here and at our dispatch center. This is a 3-year contract purchased off an Illinois state contract through CDW.
Okay. And is it always been available through the Illinois Governmental Joint Purchasing?
Yes, VMware was bought out by a different company last year. They did a 1-year renewal for us. This is the last time they will offer a 3-year. They are redoing their pricing, and there's software as a service structure starting next year.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the committee? Sam?
Mike, you said server virtualization?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
VMware Server Virtualization. So we have hardware, and on that hardware, the server virtualization lets us we run usually about 10 to 12 servers on each set of hardware. So that's the virtualization. There's not a single physical box for each server that we build these days. They're all virtual servers, they're called.
Okay.
So we can have multiple, and it also allows you to.
So it's an on-premise cloud?
We are on-premise, so some of our solutions are hosted, but the servers VMware is on-premise. We have not moved our VMware to the cloud.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Item number 6 is consideration to award bid number 26-1-1 to Tigris Aquatic Services LLC of Carroll Stream, Illinois for the 2026, 2027, and 2028 pond management program in the amount of $42,837. Funding in account number 100.2510-4122.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Eddie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On February 23rd of 2026, bid number 26-1-1 was opened for the 2026, 2027, and 2028 pond management program. A total of 3 bids were received. The apparent low bid was from Tigris Aquatic Services of Carroll Stream, Illinois. This program is for the maintenance services of 8 total ponds that are managed by the village. Under this contract, these ponds will be inspected weekly and treated for control of aquatic weeds and algae. Dead plant material and garbage from each site will also be removed. This contract is for 3 years in the total amount of $42,837 or $14,279 per year, with the option for 2 additional one-year extensions. At this time, we respectfully request your approval to award bid number 26-1-1 to Tigris Aquatic Services in the amount of $42,837.
Thank you. And is Tigris a new vendor for us?
For this service, they are, but they have worked for us in the past. They installed our aerators at Louis Reservoir, and we've been very happy with them.
Great. Thank you. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7 is consideration to award bid number 26-1-2 for the village-wide mowing contract to Mark One Landscape, Inc. of Bartlett, Illinois, in the base bid amount of $164,458. Funding in account number 500.5010-4180, 500.5031-4180, 500.5032-4180, and 100.2510-4180.
Motion. Second.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. On March 2nd of 2026, bid number 26-1-2 was opened for the 2026-2027 fiscal year village-wide mowing and maintenance contract. A total of 7 bids were received for this bid process. The apparent low bid was from Mark One Landscape of Bartlett, Illinois. This contract is for the mowing and maintenance of all village properties and right-of-ways. This includes fertilization, treatment for weeds, spring and fall cleanup services, and litter removal. The contract is for 1 year in the total amount of $164,458, with the option for 2 additional one-year extensions. Mark One is a new vendor for us, so our staff checked all of their references, and all the feedback was positive. At this time, we respectfully request your approval to award bid number 26-1-2 to Mark One Landscape in the amount of $164,458.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8 is consideration to award bid number 26-1-4 to SKC Construction, Inc. of West Dundee, Illinois, for the cleaning and crack sealing of pavement in the not-to-exceed amount of $50,000. Funding in account number 100.2520-4180.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Eddie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On February 23rd of 2026, bid number 26-1-4 was opened for the 2026-2027 fiscal year crack sealing program. Total of 3 bids were received. The apparent low bid was from SKC Construction out of West Dundee, Illinois. This program consists of cleaning and sealing approximately 120,000 lineal feet of cracks in existing asphalt pavement on various roadways. This is a preventative maintenance process that is intended to extend the life of the pavement and reduce potholes. This contract is for 1 year in the total amount of $50,000 with the option for 2 additional one-year extensions. At this time, we respectfully request your approval to award bid number 26-1-2 to SKC Construction, INC, in the not-to-exceed amount of $50,000.
Thank you. I think we've had some success with extending the life of the roads with this process, haven't we?
Yeah, we have, and it just keeps cracks in the pavement from growing and buys you some time from having to replace that road.
That's great. Any questions from the committee? And just to clarify, that is bid 26-1-4, correct?
That's what I have, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9 is consideration to accept the proposal of a 1-year contract extension of bid number 25-2-1 to Serenity Landscape Group, Inc. of Villa Park, Illinois, for parkway restorations and the unit pricing of $10 per square yard and not to exceed the cost of $22,000. Funding in account number 500.5010-4180.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Eddie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On April 7th of 2025, bid number 25-2-1 for parkway restorations was awarded to the Serenity Landscape Group of Villa Park, Illinois. A total of 4 bids were received, and Serenity Landscaping Group was the lowest bidder. This contract is for parkway restoration work in relation to excavations made by our water and sewer divisions and public works. The original contract was for 1 year with the option for 2 additional 1-year extensions. Serenity has increased their pricing by $2, making the new overall price $10 per square yard. Although there is a cost increase, $10 per square yard is still lower than the next closest bidder, which was $12 last year. Staff has been satisfied with the service provided thus far, and for this reason, we respectfully request your approval to award the first 1-year bid extension to SKC Construction in the not-to-exceed amount of $22,000.
Great. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10 is consideration of the first 1-year contract extension to the Civi Group of Elgin, Illinois for spoils hauling and stone delivery in the not-to-exceed amount of $77,000. Funding in accounts number 500.5010-4207, 500.5010-4176, 500.5031-4299, and 500.5031-4176.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Eddie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On April 7th of 2025, bid number 25-2-2 for spoils hauling and stone delivery was awarded to the Civi Group of Elgin, Illinois. A total of 3 bids were received, and the Civi Group was the lowest bidder. The contract is for hauling away spoils in relation to excavation made by our Public Works Department. It also includes CA6 stone delivery for our stock in our yard. The original contract was for 1 year with the option for 2 additional 1-year extensions. The Civi Group has increased their pricing by $4 for gravel, making the new price $26 per ton. They've also increased the cost for hauling spoils away by $60, making the new price $360 per load. Both of these increases are still lower than the next closest bidder. The next closest bidder for the stone was $27.32, and for hauling spoils was $415. Staff has been satisfied with the service provided thus far, and for this reason, we respectfully request your approval to award the first 1-year bid extension to the Civi Group in the not-to-exceed amount of $77,000.
Very good. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11 is consideration of a resolution regarding village work in the IDOT right-of-way for calendar years 2026 and 2027.
Motion. Second.
Thank you. Eddie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Village of Addison maintains an agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation, or IDOT, for any work that we perform within the state right-of-way per Chapter 121 of the Illinois Revised Statutes. IDOT allows local municipalities to adopt a resolution in lieu of providing a security bond for each project. This resolution provides the necessary assurances to IDOT that all work will be performed with a permit. It provides a holds harmless to the state and ensures that restorations will be completed. This resolution was reviewed and approved by the village attorney and will provide coverage for the 2026 and 2027 calendar year. We respectfully request your adoption of this resolution.
Thank you. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12 is consideration of a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Addison and the Addison Fire District for hydrant maintenance from 2026 to 2030.
Motion.
Thank you. Eddie.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Village of Addison and the Addison Fire District maintain an intergovernmental agreement, an IGA, for fire hydrant maintenance services. This agreement outlines the specific conditions for both parties and establishes an annual rate for these services. The purpose is to offset maintenance costs of the hydrant system in the village. This resolution was reviewed by the village attorney and approved by the fire district. Both parties have agreed to an annual fee of $15,000 over 5 years. This will cover the 2026 to 2030 calendar years. We respectfully request your adoption of this resolution.
Very good. I think this is like a housekeeping item. I have no questions. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Trustee Reyes is going to abstain.
Okay. So noted. Motion carries. Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Public Health, Safety, and Judicial Committee items. Item number 13, consideration of ordinances amending Chapters 10 and 24 of the Village Code as it relates to the residential rental program.
Motion.
Mike?
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. This item for your consideration is an ordinance amending Chapter 10 and Chapter 24 of the Village Code. Chapter 10 outlines requirements for residential rental license fees and for procedures for obtaining a rental license. And Chapter 24 is used to enforce property maintenance standards within the Village of Addison. Fees for our residential rental licensing program have not been adjusted in more than 12 years. And with the increase of inflation and the cost of rents going up, the fees are really, truly justified. The program was originally designed with the intent of being self-supportive, meaning that the program would be designed to collect revenue to pay for the salaries and the benefits and the overhead of the program for roughly about 5 employees. The proposed increase will bring us closer to that original intent. In addition, staff has made some administrative changes to Chapter 10 with regard to our online portal. The way the Chapter 10 was written was more set up on how we collected fees and how you would obtain a rental license previously, but in the last 3 years, we went to an online portal system, so the workflows have changed a lot. So Chapter 10 has been revised considerably to outline that process, making it mandatory to apply for a license through the portal and to pay for your fees through the portal, with some exceptions. These changes clearly identified the mandatory requirements and the steps in order to apply and obtain for a rental license. Those are really the significant changes in Chapter 10. But moving on to Chapter 24, we kind of renamed Chapter 24. It used to say housing regulations. We've changed it for property maintenance regulations, which makes it a little more clear. One can kind of interpret it that those requirements were only for housing, properties that had housing on them, whether it was rental or owner-occupied. But really, the property maintenance code applies to the village, is village-wide, and we've enforced it over the years village-wide as too. So we kind of clarified that a little bit. But most importantly, we've also updated the codes from the 2018 edition, which we currently use right now, to the 2024. We brought the building code update changes to you at the last board meeting. This is regarding the Chapter 24, which is for our property maintenance standards. We've looked at the changes from the 18 to 24, and in the property maintenance section, there really wasn't anything that was considerable that would really affect or impact any compliance problems for our current existing buildings that we have in town, specifically with regard to the rental properties. In addition to that, many of the local amendments have been rewritten to make them more clear, more easy to understand for people that want to rent their properties. Some of the other requirements have been a little, subject to interpretation. We've also taken some of the local amendments that we've had in there for years out and went more with the standard requirements right out of the model codes without amendments. So that makes it easier. They're more well recognized. They're not unique requirements. It was really cleaning it up a lot, which is really going to help the process. These ordinances were reviewed by our staff. They were also reviewed by our village attorneys that were found to be acceptable. So tonight, staff is asking for your favorable consideration in approving a first reading of the ordinances tonight. And of course, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer any. Thank you.
Sounds very thorough. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Yeah?
Hey, Mike. The online portal that we put in 3 years ago, have we seen an increase in interaction annually?
I'm sorry, Sam, can you say
The
that again?
online portal?
Yeah, the online portal.
Have we seen an increase in interaction in the last 3 years?
Yes, very much so. In fact, we are pretty much at 99% with people, if not more than just under 100% with people utilizing the portal. When we first launched it, there was a little learning curve on, we're trying to get some people that, were fearful of, you have to set up a portal account, which means you have to have an email. Some people were reluctant to do that, but after a few years of going through this and walking through the process on this, it actually, most, if not everybody, loves it because it's just more easier to use. They don't have to come into the village hall anymore. The license application could be filled out online. The license fees can be paid for online. Inspection reports are all online. So we really went paperless, and it's been a really good process.
Plus, it helps us on the back end that we can retain whatever documents we need and pull them up on demand.
Exactly. It's more transparent, for sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Item 14, consideration of ordinances amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to adjust the number of Class E and A liquor licenses to reflect new ownership at Slotty's located at 607 South Addison Road.
Motion. Second.
Joe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As indicated before you tonight are those two ordinances for the board to review, and one is to revoke the current owner's license as we have new ownership, and that's why they went through the whole process of a new application. And then the one would be to approve, seeking your favorable approval for said license. Owners are with us tonight, but before we get to that, we've had a good relationship with Slotty's. We've had no problems with their business. The business model will stay the same. The menu will stay the same. And we did meet with the Advisory Liquor Commission on March 10th, along with the new ownership, and they provided their favorable approval. That brought us here tonight, and now I'm seeking your favorable approval as well. And as indicated, ownership is here tonight. If they want to say anything, they did indicate they didn't want to say anything. It's up to you.
Very good. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Item 15, consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class D liquor licenses for La Placita located at 390 West Lake Street.
Motion. Second.
Joe?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As indicated, this would be a Class D liquor license for La Placita operating at 390 West Lake Street. The ownership is here tonight as well. We have a fantastic relationship with the ownership there. They have just a tremendous product, tremendous business. It's a good representation and great food too, I might add, by the way. Dined there a few times myself. But they too met with the Liquor Advisory Commission on March 10th. They did seek their favorable approval, which brings us here tonight. Up to you, Madam Chair, and to the ownership if they would want to come on up and say anything. But we are seeking your favorable approval for the Class D liquor license for them.
Okay. Very good. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? No? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, moving on. Item 16, consideration of an ordinance amending certain provisions of Chapter 11 of the Village Code regarding commercial motor vehicles.
Motion.
Second.
Ryan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This item for consideration is an ordinance amending Chapter 11, specifically adding in the definition and some specifics related to commercial motor vehicles. We're looking to add in commercial motor vehicle in addition to just trucks and buses, specifically for residential areas and overnight parking. It encompasses a wider range of vehicles that should be prohibited in those areas in addition to just trucks and buses. We're adding the addition of a definition for commercial motor vehicle into Section 11-1. We're adding prohibiting overnight parking of commercial motor vehicles with the exception of motor vehicles affixed with Class B or Class C registration, and we're asking for prohibiting the parking of commercial motor vehicles over 8,000 pounds in any residence district with the exception of those affixed with a Class B or Class C registration. And tonight we would ask for your favorable approval for the amendment.
Okay, very good. I have no questions on this item. Any questions from the committee? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Roy. All right, item 17, audience participation regarding village business. We have none. 18, executive session if needed. Don't need one. 19, other business at the discretion of the chairman. Nothing tonight. And item 20.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Call the Village Board meeting for Monday, March 16th, 2026 to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustees Del Rosario.
Here.
Klusny.
Here.
Nasty.
Here.
O'Brien. O'Brien is not here this evening. Reyes.
Here.
And Ruggieri.
Here.
And Mayor Hundley.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you remain standing, we have Pastor Bob Tetchwood from Side Baptist Church here to give us our invocation.
Well, good evening. It looks like a wedding. This would have been my side, and that would have been my wife's. Not really. It's so good to see you. What an exciting night. Before I read this passage of Scripture, I remember when I first started as the chaplain, I think it was within a month or so, I had the opportunity to ride with Marcus. And one thing I've always known about Marcus, he greets you with a hug, even if he doesn't know you, and then he opens up his phone and shows you 100 pictures of his family. And I know about as much of his family as anything. So I'm really excited for you and the family tonight. And so I picked out this passage of Scripture. When Moses died, God gave the responsibility of having Israel go into the promised land to Joshua. Joshua had a big responsibility on his shoulders, and this is what God said to Joshua in Joshua 1, verse 9. It says, "Have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest." And Marcus, I know God's going to be with you as he's with the rest of the men and women here. So shall we pray? Dear Heavenly Father, as we come before you tonight, I thank you for this occasion when somebody works very hard for a position and you bless them with the hard work that they have earned. That, God, you would continue to protect them as they're out there, as you did with Joshua. He was faithful, he was good, he was obedient, and God, you saw him through some really, really hard times. And I pray that not only for Marcus, but every man and woman that is on the Addison Police Department. Father, we know that every day could be a crapshoot. We don't know if they're going to go out there and have a nice, easy day. People are going to love them, which doesn't happen often. But we know it could be a hard day, a heart-wrenching day, a day filled with death. And I just pray that you would encourage each man and woman here today. And I pray for our soldiers as they are fighting and dying, that you would protect them and their family. And the last thing tonight, I think of Harry Theodore passing away, that God, you would be gracious to his wife, his family, that you would comfort them in this time of distress. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Bob. Item number 4 is approval of the minutes of the March 2nd, 2026 Village Board meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Are there any changes, corrections, or deletions to those minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is carried. And we also have approval of the minutes of the March 2nd, 2026 public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Are there any changes, corrections, or deletions to those minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Item number 5 is proclamation, appointments, and presentations. And I think we're all here for one thing, or at least the crowd is, but Pastor Bob is right. Everybody's sitting on, seems like, the bride's side, and Marcus is over here by himself. So got some people in the back, though. That's good. Yeah, and Pastor Bob's supporting. But everybody's here tonight for the swearing in and promotion of Officer Marcus Rivera to the rank of sergeant. And I'll ask our chief to step down, and village clerk and I'll come down and swear him in.
So Pastor Bob was right. Tonight is a special night, and I really want to thank the mayor and the board and village manager for allowing us to do this. It is a special event, especially when you have somebody like this. Marcus is just, This room is filled because of one reason, and it's not for our ordinance amendments that we're doing later on. It's because we have a great man coming up on 20 years that's about to be promoted. Marcus started with the department July 9th, 2007, quickly moved his way into the gang tactical unit, was there for a couple of years, and went over to full-time detectives. While he was in detectives, he went to supervise the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy. He worked on the Major Crimes Countywide Task Force Unit. He then went in 2021, he became a school resource officer and went to Addison Trail High School. And then he wasn't satisfied with that. In 2024, he took over our community response unit. Marcus has done more within a 10-year period, moved around to various specialties than I think anyone I've ever seen. He's led an incredible career. Most importantly of all, he has the respect of this entire department. I know the Midnight Crew is looking forward to working with him. And he is a family man, as Pastor Bob said. So with that, I'm going to pass this off to Lucille to do the swearing in.
Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I,
Marcus Rivera,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of
and I
Illinois,
will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
as Sergeant of the Village of Addison Police Department
as Sergeant of the Village of Addison Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And now can I have a hug?
Sure.
Marcus told us when we asked him if he wanted to be sergeant, he said that this is really special. Remember, Marcus is an incredible family man, one of the proudest that I know. Pastor Bob wasn't kidding when he said he brings out those photos. We have watched you two grow up from the time you were born. Because of that, though, Jovan didn't get to pin on his very first badge because she was pregnant with Jordan. So today is a special day because she gets to pin on the gold badge. So come on up, Jovan. Now, if it bleeds, it's fine. I'm going to go to shirt. It's okay.
So Marcus, for me, this is special. I remember when you were sworn in, and not only do I know you as a police officer, but as a friend. And as everybody said, and Pastor Bob said, I've seen the family man that you are, and I'm very proud of this moment to be able to be the mayor that's seen you become a sergeant. I get to present you with your badge case, and I don't think it could happen to a better person. It's well-deserved, and you've earned it, and I'm so happy for you. Now it's your turn to get say a few words.
So first, I'm going to try not to cry. I'm very close. First, I want to thank Chief Forrest Selvig, Village Board, everybody that's sitting behind me. I appreciate the respect and the trust that you guys have in me to lead this team. I'm not going to let you guys down. Those are the first words that came out of my mouth when Roy told me I was going to be promoted, that I'm not going to let you guys down. Second, to my partners on the street, I appreciate everybody's support. I mean, from the moment that they announced this promotion, my phone's been blowing up, and it's been with sincere congratulations, and it means a lot to me. It fills my heart up with joy, and just know that I'm ready to get to work with you guys as soon as possible. Also, as you can see here, I have a big family behind me, and it's not even everybody. And this is why, hold on, let me make sure I don't cry. Wait a minute. Let me take a minute. It means a lot that I get to share this moment with them. A lot of them came out tonight, and again, this isn't everybody, but it means the world to me. And then to my wife, Jovan, none of this is possible without your support throughout my whole career. You know how much this means to me, but I couldn't do it without your support. You're my rock, you're my best friend, and this promotion is just, it's for both of us, not just for me, it's for you too. All right, and I love you very much. Everybody else knows that too. Wait till tomorrow when I show you all the pictures. So with that being said, again, thank you guys very much. I'm very excited and humble, and just I'm just ready to get to work.
And the board wants to So we'll move on to audience input regarding agenda items before the board. But before we do that, this is a great time for everybody to leave, and I'm sure that Marcus has got a party planned for you guys. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. If you feel that should be done. Yeah, and I think we've done that before when neither one. Yeah, so I have no. Yeah. Do I wait till I get out of the room, or you want to keep going? Okay. So item 6 is audience input regarding items before the board. We have none. Item 7 is consent agenda. Item 7A is approval of accounts payable.
Earlier this evening, we recommended approval of the following directives. Directive 26-66 in the amount of $782,445.52. Directive 26-67 in the amount of $247,294.56. Directive 26-68 in the amount of $2,246,415.60.
Thank you. 7B is approval to award bid number 26-1-1 to Trigus Aquatic Services LLC of Carroll Stream, Illinois for the 2026, 27, and 28 pond management program in the amount of $42,837. 7C is approval of an award bid to number 26-1-2 for the village-wide mowing contract to Mark I Landscape Incorporated of Bartlett, Illinois, in the base bid amount of $164,458. 7D is approval to award bid number 26-1-4 to SKC Construction Incorporated of West Dundee, Illinois, for the cleaning and crack sealing of pavement and to not exceed amount of $50,000. 7E is approval to accept the proposal of a one-year contract extension of bid number 25-2-1 to Serenity Landscape Group Incorporated of Villa Park, Illinois, for the parkway restoration and the unit price of $10 per square yard and not to exceed the cost of $22,000. 7F's approval of the first year first one-year contract extension to Civi Group of Elgin, Illinois for spoils hauling and stone delivery in a not-to-exceed amount of $77,000. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved in second. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes.
And Ruggieri?
Yes. The consent agenda is approved. Item 8 is ordinance and resolutions. 8A is second reading of an ordinance establishing a moratorium on the issuance of massage establishment licenses for a period of 6 months.
At our meeting on March 2nd, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which establishes a moratorium on the issuance of massage establishment licenses for a period of 6 months. The committee recommended approval, and first reading was given at the March 2nd Village Board meeting. Second reading is requested.
This is second reading of an ordinance establishing a moratorium on the issuance of massage establishment licenses for a period of 6 months.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Motion is second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes.
And Ruggieri?
Yes. The ordinance is adopted. 8B is second reading of an ordinance approving and placing the 2026 zoning district map on record.
At their meeting on March 2nd, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves and places the 2026 zoning district map on record. The committee recommended approval. First reading was given on March 2nd Village Board meeting. Second reading is requested.
This is second reading of an ordinance approving and placing the 2026 zoning district map on record.
Motion to approve the ordinance?
Motion is second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in roll call, please.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes.
And Ruggieri?
Yes. Resolution is adopted. Item 7C is second reading of an ordinance approving a plat of easement for 777 West Factory Road.
At their meeting on March 2nd, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which approves a plat of easement for 777 West Factory Road. The committee recommended approval, and first reading was given on March 2nd Village Board meeting. Second reading is requested.
This is second reading of an ordinance approving a plat of easement for the 777 West Factory Road.
Motion to approve the ordinance? Second.
Motion is second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes.
And Ruggieri?
Yes. The ordinance is adopted. Item 8D is second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 6 of the Village of Addison Code in its entirety.
At our meeting on March 2nd, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which amends Chapter 6 of the Village of Addison Code in its entirety. The committee recommended approval, and the first reading was given on March 2nd, Village Board meeting. Second reading is requested.
This is second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 6 of the Village of Addison Code in its entirety.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Motion is second to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes.
And Ruggieri?
Yes. The ordinance is adopted. 8E is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 10, Article 13, residential, 8, I'm sorry, yeah, residential rental dwellings, licenses, and inspections of the Village of Addison Code in its entirety.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which amends Chapter 10, Article 8, counting, residential rental dwelling licensing and inspection of the Village of Addison Code in its entirety. The committee recommended approval, and the first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 10, Article 8, residential rental dwelling, licensing, and inspection of the Village of Addison Code in its entirety.
First reading.
First reading. Item 8F is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 24, property maintenance regulations of the Village of Addison Code in its entirety.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed the ordinance which amends Chapter 24, property maintenance regulations of the Village of Addison Code in its entirety. The committee recommended approval, and the first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 24, Property Maintenance Regulations of the Village of Addison Code in its entirety.
First reading.
First reading. Item 8F is first reading of, Item 8G is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to decrease the number of Class E liquor licenses for Slotty's LLC located at 607 South Addison Road for the previous owner.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which decreases the number of Class E liquor licenses for Slotty's LLC located at 607 South Addison Road. The committee recommended approval, and the first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to decrease the number of Class E liquor licenses for Slotty's LLC located at 607 South Addison Road for the previous owner.
First reading.
First reading. Item 8H is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class A liquor licenses for Slotty's LLC located at 607 South Addison Road.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which increases the number of Class A liquor licenses for Slotty's LLC located at 607 South Addison Road. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class A liquor licenses for Slotty's LLC located at 607 South Addison Road for the new owner.
First reading.
First reading. Item 8I is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class D liquor licenses for La Placida Incorporated located at 390 West Lake Street.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which increases the number of Class D liquor licenses for La Placita located at 390 West Lake Street. The committee recommended approval, and the first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the Village Code to increase the number of Class D liquor licenses for La Placita Incorporated located at 390 West Lake Street.
First reading.
First reading. Item 8J is first reading of an ordinance amending certain provisions of Chapter 11 of the Village Code regarding commercial motor vehicles.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this ordinance, which amends certain provisions of Chapter 11 of the Village Code regarding commercial motor vehicles. The committee recommended approval, and first reading is requested.
This is first reading of an ordinance amending certain provisions of Chapter 11 of the Village Code regarding commercial motor vehicles.
First reading.
First reading. Item 8K is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from CDWG of Vernon Hills for the VMware licensing services procured through the Illinois Government Joint Purchasing Act in the total amount of $47,298.24.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves a quote from CDWG of Vernon Hills, Illinois, for VMware licensing services procured through the Illinois Governmental Joint Purchasing Act, OMNIA MESA contract number 202-4056-01. in the total cost of $47,298.24. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution approving a quote from CDWG of Vernon Hills, Illinois for VMware licensing services procured through the Illinois Governmental Joint Purchasing Act, OMNIA MESA contract number 2024056-01 in the total cost of $47,298.24.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Motion and second to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Trustees Del Rosario?
Yes.
Kluzny?
Yes.
Nasty?
Yes.
Reyes?
Yes.
And Ruggieri?
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. Item 8L is consideration of a resolution regarding village work in the IDOT right-of-way for calendar years 2026 and 2027.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves village work in the IDOT right-of-way for calendar years 2026 and 2027. The committee recommended approval, and the attorney is asked to read the resolution.
This is consideration of a resolution regarding village work in the IDOT right-of-way for calendar years 2026 and 2027.
Motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Motion is second to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
Reyes,
Yes.
and Ruggieri.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. Item 8M is consideration of a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Addison and the Addison Fire District for hydrant maintenance from 2026 to 2030.
At our meeting earlier this evening, the committee reviewed this resolution, which approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Addison and the Addison Fire District for hydrant maintenance from 2026 to 2030.
This is consideration of a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Addison and the Addison Fire District for hydrant maintenance from 2026 to 2030.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
Second.
Motion is second to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Trustees Del Rosario,
Yes.
Kluzny,
Yes.
Nasty,
Yes.
Reyes,
Abstain.
and Ruggieri.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. I just want to make a side note, just on your behalf, the reason Trustee Reyes is abstaining is because she's also fire commissioner, so thanks. And I appreciate that. Item 9 is mayor's report. It was sad, heavy hearts, but the Village of Addison wants to announce the passing of former trustee Harry Theodore at the age of 84. Harry was a trustee from 1993 to 2021. He was also a member of the United Hellenic Voters and Addison Center for the Arts. He did a lot of work with ACTV, with Addison, Down on Sports, along with his wife Lori for almost 14 years. And our condolences go out to his wife Lori, his son Chris, his daughter Emily, and his 7 grandchildren. His wake will be from 3 to 8 p.m. on Thursday at Chapel Hill Gardens in West Funeral Home in Oak Brook Terrace, with the funeral mass on Friday at 10 a.m. at Holy Apostles Greek Orthodox Church in Westchester. I believe that's on Wolf Road. So please keep his family in your prayers, and he'll be greatly missed by all of us, because all of us here in one way or another he took us under their wings. So it's a sad occasion, but just keep his family in your thoughts, please. Item 10 is officers' reports. Village attorney.
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Village manager.
No report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Village clerk.
Yes, we have the VFW Flower Show coming up on Friday, March 20th at the VFW Post at 446 West Lake Street. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the show begins at 7 p.m. The $6 donation at the door benefits veterans programs. This is also co-sponsored by Addison Floral. Outdoor Easter egg hunt presented by the Addison Park District will be on Saturday, March 21st at the new location at Community Park. This starts at 11 a.m. on Saturday, March 11th. And then next we have an Easter egg hunt and breakfast hosted by the Good Samaritan United Methodist Church on Saturday, April 4th. At Continental Breakfast will be at 9:30, and the egg hunt will begin at 10:30 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 11 is commission and board reports. We have none. Item 12 is executive session. We do not need one. Item 13 is audience participation regarding village business. We have none. And item 14.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Motion second to adjourn. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We are adjourned.